Coming up on UBC News Tonight, His Excellency Museveni gives $5 million for each Mbale flood victim. President promotes 776 senior police officers. In more stories tonight, Premier Nabanja assures nation on government's readiness on fuel crisis. Ministry of Health launches self-regulatory quality improvement system. A very good evening once again. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha and you're watching UBC News Tonight. In our top stories, the Archbishop of Kampala Archdiocese, His Grace Paul Semwogerere, has highly commended President Museveni for his good leadership and support to the Catholic Church in Uganda and Kampala Diocese in particular. The President made the remarks today when he paid a courtesy call on the President at State House in Entebbe. The Archbishop cited the support President Museveni has provided in the refurbishment of Namugongo Martyrs Shrine and asked for his continued support for its completion. On the care of the elderly at Bakateyamba in Narukolongo in Kampala City, President Museveni advised the cleric to set up an endowment that will generate funds for their support. Archbishop Semwogerere was accompanied by Pope His Excellency Augustine Kasuja, who had just returned from the Vatican after 42 years in diplomatic service, and Honorable Nyamahunge Kezia Frida, Senior Presidential Advisor, Kampala Metropolitan Affairs.
Retirement, and I came with him so that
Banzala Mitala Maria.
Moving on from that, President Jerry Museveni has contributed 5 million Ugandan shillings as condolences for each of the flood victims in Mbale. Now the money will be delivered by the Minister for Presidency, Babidi Emily Babalanda. 23 people have so far been confirmed dead following a heavy downpour. Most were victims who were swept into River Nabuyonga. Each of the families will receive 5 million Ugandan shillings for each victim as condolences and to help in the barrier arrangements, totaling to 115 million Ugandan shillings. In his message delivered by Babalanda to the families and to the people of Mbale, Museveni describes the occurrence as very regrettable, but says it is partly caused by a failure of people to take his advice on the issue of protecting the environment.
Here in Gogonyo regions, I've been sent by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, who is also the national chairperson of the NRM party, to come and condole with the family which were affected by the floods. It is really a pity and very unfortunate. I, being a believer, I say that may their souls rest in eternal peace. At this time also, let me take this opportunity to direct all the RDCs, RCCs, deputy RDCs, and deputy RCCs to sensitize the community about the dangers of cutting down trees, practicing agriculture in wetlands, and also constructing houses and factories in wetlands. It is illegal and prohibited. I urge you to my fellow Ugandans to desist from such acts. I want to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, who is also the national chairman of the NRM party, for what he has done to come and condole with the affected families. May the souls of the deceased rest in eternal peace.
That news, but our hearts go out to the families that lost their loved ones. In more stories, President Museveni, the Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, has promoted 776 senior police officers at different ranks. Minister for Internal Affairs, General Kahindo Tafide, presented names of these promoted officers on behalf of the President, and he urged promoted officers on adopting modern modes of curbing crime. We have a detailed report on the story.
This is the biggest batch of promotions at senior level in the Uganda Police Force.
In exercise of the powers vested in the President under Section 9(1) of the Police Act, Chapter 303, and on the advice of the Police Authority, His Excellency the President has appointed on promotion 773.
The promotions of senior officers ranged from Assistant Superintendent of Police to the rank of Assistant Inspector General of Police. 5 senior officers have got the highest rank in police, which is the Assistant Inspector General of Police. These include Charles Bilungi, Director Welfare, Fadil Kal, Commander Field Force Unit, James Ochaya, Director Research, Johnny Nuwagira, Richard Ediego, Director Logistics.
Acknowledge the service and acknowledge and recognize the service rendered by these gallant men and officers of the Uganda Police Force.
Those promoted from Commissioner of Police to Senior Commissioner of Police include the spokesperson of police, Fred Enanga.
And every officer's dream upon joining the force to enhance their career.
Minister for Internal Affairs General Kahinda Otafili, on behalf of the President, committed on improving officers' welfare, ranging from accommodation to salary enhancements.
But for a police officer, it's not the salary, it is the recognition of the service he or she has rendered to the country. These people put their lives online.
Consistency and dynamic handling of crime environment are among the baseline for this promotion arrangement.
We give you opportunity to come in. When you've come in, your progress depends on your performance, your capacity. Yeah. We don't promote you because you're a woman or a man. No, we promote you because for us, we look at you as an
last
officer.
held promotion of senior police officers in 2016 during the reign of General Kalikai Hura. Abdul Nasir Lugama, UBC News.
Prime Minister Rebna Nabanja has confirmed that the government of Uganda is fully armed for any likely fuel emergencies that will be caused by the aftermath of the Kenyan elections. While responding to the concerns of members of parliament on government preparedness on fuel sufficiency and reserves, Prime Minister Nabanja allayed all fears. Take a look.
Minister of Mineral Development and Energy to update this Honorable House and Ugandans about the steps that government has taken to prepare for any emergency response in case there will be a fuel shortage supply.
With just a few days left to Kenya's general elections, fears have started mounting over government's preparedness on the likely shortage, especially on fuel, following the aftermath of Kenya's general elections. In the matter of national importance, Hoima City woman member of parliament Asinansi Nyakato sought a response on government plans on management of the likely shortage of fuel in case anything happens in the impending Kenya's general elections.
Where he said they were still in negotiation with Tanzania over the route via Tanzania, and they did not tell us that they have reached harmony on to whether they will be able to use Tanzania. So is it?
According to Busia Municipality Member of Parliament Godfrey Macho, the influx of Kenyans into Uganda's main borders in pursuit of reserve fuel is creating fears on Uganda's response should there be an emergency.
Kenya's government is doing deployment, and some Kenyans are crossing with their families to Uganda. But our side, there is nothing taking place at all. There is no preparedness at all. And therefore, I will also support her that as government of Uganda, please let us know how preparedness you are, because when Kenya coughs, Uganda always needs it. Thank you, Madam.
Members of Parliament want government to give a clear view on the state of fuel reserves and sufficiency in case of any predicaments.
The issue of fuel, how much fuel we have, not for security, but for the survival of the nation, is an issue of quantity. From the experience of how much we've been caught unaware, with our reserves empty, with the tanks dilapidated.
Allaying all fears, the Prime Minister Robinah Nabbanja says the government is fully prepared for any probable crisis, notwithstanding the fuel crisis.
But what I can assure the country in front of this camera is that the NRM government has the reserves to make this country run. The government is ready to sustain the Ugandans, and it has fuel in place, and it has alternative routes. It has alternative routes to bring in fuel.
The fears over the fuel crisis trails from the historical chaotic scenes that were witnessed during the 2007 Kenya's general election that caused a prolonged fuel shortage and also left many dead. Kenya will be going to the general polls on Tuesday, 9th August 2022. Susan Naong and Gloria Guitabinji reporting for UBC TV.
Members from the Parliamentary Committee on Physical Infrastructure have called for full support towards the Uganda Airlines operations if the airline is to break even in the highly competitive and turbulent industry. The committee members, led by the chairperson Karugaba David, were visiting Uganda Airlines infrastructure in Kampala and Entebbe.
Members of Parliament sitting on the Committee of Physical Infrastructure have visited Uganda Airlines in a bid to fully appreciate the national carrier's operations. The latest visit comes after MPs and the airline officials failed to advance the airline's request of a new spare engine for the Sierra J900 fleet. The airline had indicated that the spare engine was a requirement if they are to stagger the maintenance of the engines installed on the Sierra J900 fleet, which entered operations in 2019. According to Uganda Airlines, without staggering, all the 8 engines shall fall due for scheduled engine shop maintenance at the same time.
We only have 4 Sierra J with a very tight schedule. So if you have one, and Entebbe Airport is rife with birds. So takeoff and landing, you never know what you strike in terms of birds. So they thought it wise at the time. My colleagues agreed that this was an important thing to have to protect the operation, but we want to avoid having to get to that point.
The airline CEO, Jennifer Bamturaki, believes that the interaction they had with members of Parliament will in a way inform their decisions going forward.
The committee did mention, the chairman, that at the time they did not quite understand why we were asking for such an expensive item, and yet we had new aircraft. So the walkthrough today helped them understand what that is, because they actually did find one aircraft on ground. Although it was not an engine, this one now has to do with oxygen masks.
The committee chairperson Karugaba David reveals that the visit was timely as members were able to deeply understand the airline's operations. He also intimated that they are to advocate for full funding and support towards the airline.
They've demonstrated to us that indeed they have got good strategic partnerships with other countries and other airlines. So we really have hope that this airline is going to develop and be supported, since the number of passengers traveling or using the airlines has increased.
Earlier, the members of Parliament also toured the airline's new handling equipment stationed at the airport. Uganda Airlines is currently awaiting certification from the regulator Uganda Civil Aviation Authority for self-handling to kick off. Samuel Sendono, UBC News.
In more stories, the business community at the eastern border town of Malaba are counting losses due to the upcoming Kenyan election. They say in the last 2 weeks, the number of their Kenyan customers have drastically reduced, leading to the closure of some businesses in town. Now they hope for a peaceful election in order to foster business recovery. Sigoa and Juma report.
Malaba border is perhaps the busiest border between Kenya and Uganda, and it's here where we made the first stopover on our journey to Nairobi. We interacted with the business as well as the local community to find out exactly what is transpiring at the border in terms of business.
The customers we have been having, like you people who are having some businesses here, like selling shoes, people, the customers which they had, they were Kenyans. Yes. But now there are few. Everyone is like after election, after election, after election. So now we are waiting for election. We want to say after election, we see what will go ahead.
Some of us, we have no business, and when it comes to Kenya, it is worse because most of our friends have no access to Uganda, since most of them fear to use the same route with the trucks. So the gate that they used to pass, here walifunga, okay, in English that means that it was closed. So now they have no access to Uganda to conduct with us business. So by the way, we have not been having any business at all in Uganda. And even the population of people, if you can see, there are no more people here.
Generally, the business has come down across the board. Either borders, market vendors, shop owners, we are all crying the same, even in the importation of vehicles. As you will see as you go to customs, when you check with their records, since Monday, the inflow of vehicles are very few.
Besides being adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, the business community here are lamenting, and they are saying the upcoming general election in Kenya is also causing more harm than good.
The election has affected the importation and the trade generally in Malawi, because the customers who have been coming from Kenya are no longer coming.
We are only praying for our brothers. It's only a few days to election, and we are sure everything is going to go on successfully. And our brothers are going to cast their votes and get back to normal. And I know business has been down normal, and in Malawi there's nothing that has changed because business has been down completely. So though there is Kenyan election, but our people of Malawi are really suffering.
Malawi has been a busy border, but right now people are crying. People are crying, there's no money.
So is this as a result of the upcoming election?
Could be me as I think. Okay. That's how I think.
In case these guys stop coming from Uganda, most of our income generating activities, we mostly rely on them. So because some of us are from far, we are not abundance of this place. So that's the only fear I have.
Kenya will be heading to the polls on the 9th of August, and as the UBC crew will be keeping you updated on all the key developments. Dennis Igoa and Juma Samba at Malaba border.
Thank you so much, Jen. Sigoa and Juma, I beg your pardon. And now the Kenyan election will be taking place on the 9th of August 2022, and we hope that everything stabilizes and goes back to normal. Moving on from that, transport is now a challenge in some parts of Mbale city where it's flooded. Some bridges have collapsed and locals have improvised with local material to keep a smooth flow of movement for their merchandise. Ivan Kawa reports from Mbale.
The consequences of the Mbale floods are now affecting the movement of automobiles at some routes in the district. Traffic is being regulated in Bungo sub-county, where there was flooding characterized by mudslides that partly chopped off the edge of the tarmac road. Plantations at this point are still buried underground, while in Busamaga, locals have improvised with wood and timber to fix a bridge that collapsed due to the magnitude of the floods.
Olw'ebbula ly'essente buli kimu ndowooza kiraba kyewanise. Twegatta ng'abantu kye tusobola ne tuteekawo neera oba oyitako era owulira nga tetuli safe. N'olutindo lwennyini olulaba nti wadde lwasalise sayidi eno naye lwakuba kulwaka kyabu. Era enkuba ne mmala eddamu kyensuubira kinaaba kirala nnyo okusingako na wano.
The bridge remains out of bounds to vehicles and reserved for riders and pedestrians.
Kuba lino ekkubo eyo main nabuyonga gyeyita abantu we basinga okutegeera nti abantu baafiiriddewo jamu weekwata awantu awo basinga kweyambisa kkubo lino okuba lyerigenda paka e Sudan eno shortcut okuggwa eri ku main.
I did traverse areas bordering rivers in the city and established fresh constructions taking place in the wetlands. Some builders had to stop working after noticing that we were recording them. At the riverbanks, farmers are busy with their daily routine. This school is in a wetland and was affected by the floods. Part of this storage building collapsed, but construction is still ongoing. I am reliably informed that the stakeholders have a land title and were issued with a construction permit. But this structure is along Nabuyonga riverbank, where this vehicle was retrieved from. We went to get a comment from the district planner on these allegations, but our efforts were frustrated. However, the RCC Mbale City alludes this shortfall to leaders.
We are only betrayed by some of our officials charged with issuing permits and also making environmental assessment, which government now has come out very strongly through its agencies, including us resident city commissioners.
Many locals have nursery beds along riverbanks and were hit hard compared to the previous calamities.
In fact, ever since we've been operating here, it is now like 3 years down the road. But this was the worst in a way that our project was destroyed.
So in the look of things, Mbale City seems to be in a wetland. And when you go to the riverbanks, you find people who have started up nursery beds to plant some seedlings. This seedling is for a mango plant, and you only need to pay 3,000 shillings to go and plant it wherever you want to plant it to. And for this kind of business to thrive, anyone needs much water. And what is the source here in Mbale? They are the rivers, for which all of us know they caused the floods that killed over 20 people.
To be fair, they add more outlets trying to let this water go this side by adding more culvert on this highway. Then they would have reduced this challenge of floods.
On the other hand, leader of opposition Matthias Impuga and some members of parliament are in Mbale district to assess the status of response to the disaster. The team toured affected areas and as well came along with relief food to support those in need. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Mbale district.
Thank you so much, Ivan Kawa, for the updates on what's happening in Mbale. Very tragic, but we hope that the government continues to intervene. Still about the floods now, Uganda Red Cross Society has called for more investment in climate change data analysis to mitigate on the disastrous incidents resulting from weather conditions. The Secretary General of the Society, Robert Kwesigo, is receiving a relief donation from Absa Bank towards responding to the ravaged incident brought by floods in the Elgon region, which claimed over 26 people.
Crisis surrounding the eastern part of Uganda, which resulted from climate challenges, call for joint efforts among public and private sector players to address the negative impact on livelihoods in the region.
Corporate world, for the private sector, and for all of us who live in this country to make a contribution in support of the people who have been affected by the recent disaster in eastern Uganda.
Over 1,000 families were affected by floods, which warrants immediate life-sustainable solutions. Absa Bank has supported the response exercise with 60 million shillings through the Uganda Red Cross Society.
See that there is a national need for which all of us in the business community, government and NGO world to address as a people.
The General Secretary of Red Cross Society, Robert Kwesiga, appealed to government to prioritize investment in climate change data analysis for future mitigation.
So having the right data such that you can mitigate, because the entry point is to mitigate the disaster not happening, and mitigation also calls for heavy investment. How are you managing the ecosystem? How are you managing the environment? But also to warn people such that they are able either to evacuate or take the necessary action and save themselves and also save their property.
Speaking on our own behalf, we will not fund any project that has an impact on the environment and has not been subjected to the relevant vetting, say, by authorities such as the National Environmental Management Authority.
The eastern part of Uganda, particularly Mbale city, has been ravaged by torrential rains that caused flash floods, resulting in the loss of lives, destruction of property, and displacement of many families. Abdul Nasiri Lubwama, UBC News.
Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? Hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother, but I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Oh, see. You see, I was just trying to get the documents to register for Airtel Money.
You don't need the documents. You just say for register.
What's going on here?
He sells things from the shop, and behind my back, he gets the money and gives it to his girlfriends.
But just get Airtel Money Pay so that all money comes direct to your business wallet, and only you, the owner, have access to it.
Just dial *185 *10 hash, and now you are on. No waiting. Huh? This insanity is sweet. Give them also.
I only take Airtel Money Pay. It's easy and secure.
Yes, become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today. Easy.
No mixing your business money with your Kameza money. No, that's efficient.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Children are a special gift, one we must protect and nurture with care. Ensuring your child has a birth certificate opens doors for them that would otherwise be hard to access, such as immunization, school admission, or simply proving their age and belonging. Let us do our duty as parents and guardians by registering our children and getting them birth certificates. For more information, visit the NERA office closest to you or call the toll-free number 0800-211-700. This message is brought to you by NERA.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602.
Princess! Is there a problem? Honey, relax. There'll be no more worries about SMSs, phone calls, data, because Daddy has got an Airtel smart plan. There is even Airtel TV. It means no worries.
Enjoy life worry-free with Airtel Smart Plans, shareable among 5 people. Use every day and pay.
Uganda Landowners Association welcomes you to the Land Use Exhibition, the first of its kind in Uganda. Do you want to learn how to use and earn from your land, or you need information on how to manage your land? Come and be part of this exhibition, which will start from the 31st of August to the 1st of September at Umasho Grounds, Nakawa Multipurpose Hall. Don't miss a session which will tackle land matters in board discussions at only 5,000 shillings. Small and large-scale business owners, you're invited to showcase your commodities. To be part of this exhibition, call 0701 111 401 or 0772 446 507. The Land Use Exhibition is organized by the Uganda Landowners Association, sponsored by Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC.
Enjoy more GBs for the same price on Airtel. Shareable using to Gogonyo. We have increased GBs across all your favorite packs. Now, 4 GB is at 10,000 shillings and 10.5 GB at 22,500 shillings, all valid for a week. For the heavy data users, enjoy 24 GB at 50,000 shillings and 50 GB at 100,000 shillings, all valid for a month. Dial *175# or use the My Airtel app to buy these and more affordable weekly and monthly data bundles on Airtel, the smartphone network.
Come back from the commercial break. In more stories, Kisesa members of parliament who subscribe to the NRM party have commended government for settling the land issue in Karusandara sub-county that has lasted for years. Residents in this sub-county have been living in fear of sudden eviction since the land was under the Mobuku prison and Mobuku irrigation scheme.
In 1960, the Ugandan government allocated over 8,000 acres of land to people in Karusandara sub-county, which was under the Mobuku prisons and Mobuku irrigation scheme. Due to lack of proper ownership of this land, the residents have all along demanded for a land title from government, but in vain. Last week, the State Minister for Lands and Planning, Judith Nabakoba, visited Karusandara sub-county and promised that her ministry would settle the issue in a period of 1 week. The members of parliament from Kasese district who subscribed to the NRM party thanked the government after realizing that the land title for Karusandara sub-county has been issued out.
Is that the people of Karusandara are more happier than they were yesterday, because what you've been crying for has arrived today. Having land without legal ownership is not always good. Now our colleagues can own land legally, and this is a very big achievement. We are really grateful as leaders from Kasese.
The NRM flag bearer for Busongora South constituency, Honorable Gideon Thembo Mojongo, said that this issue has been before the cabinet since 1994 and continued to engage relevant ministries to relieve them from pressure of being evicted.
When the cabinet passed the decision that part of the land of Mobuku prison and irrigation scheme should be cut off and given to the citizens of the people who had occupied this area over time. For now, over 70 years, these people have been living in this area, having been workers of Hima, Kirembe Mine and Uganda Railways Corporation. But because the land belongs to the prison and irrigation, so it remained part of prison, and people had not been afforded a chance to own individual titles as they ought to be elsewhere.
Mojongo said he will continue to engage the government about other places within Busongora South that have similar concerns, especially areas near the Queen Elizabeth National Park.
Issue in Katunguru, we want government also to come out to pronounce itself that Katunguru is a sanctuary within the national park, the conservation area. As of now, it is not, it's an enclave, and an enclave is a temporary settlement, and yet these people have been living here over 80 years.
Still about land, residents of Wera LC1 in Changwali sub-county, Chikube district have turned violent, killed 40 cows and burned 4 houses belonging to Pastor George Paguma, commonly known as Gogonyo of Wera Miracle Center in Changwali sub-county, Chikube district. The violence was backed off by the arrest of 5 people in the area by State House Land Protection Unit. Take a look.
State House Land Protection Unit has arrested residents of Chikube district following a petition filed by Pastor Baguma calling for the eviction of the people that had encroached on his land. Baguma says a group of people led by his brother George Kabuhanda encroached on his land, but he acquired a court order to evict them, but they vehemently refused to vacate. This forced him to seek the intervention of State House Land Protection Unit, which stormed the area and arrested 5 suspects. The arrest of the 5 suspects, however, angered residents who turned rowdy, blocked the road for hours, stopping the unit from taking the suspects until when the State House Land Protection Unit fired in the air and dispersed angry residents. Later, residents attacked Baguma's farm, killed 40 cows, accessed and burnt 4 of his houses, destroying several properties, including 2 motorcycles and bicycles. Residents accuse Pastor Baguma and 7 other people of murdering John Turiamureba. However, Baguma John and Aston Muhwezi, who are being accused, deny the allegations.
That one is say that no, he has a land issue, let him go to court, open the case, and the case can be heard. After all, police has already investigated the case from which Kamuhanda George, who sold it to me, which he reported that Chikube police station, that his brother stole a title from him.
The RDC Chikube Amlan Tumusime blamed the violence on State House Land Protection Unit, whom he accused of carrying out the arrest of the suspects without informing the Chikube District Security Committee for backup. He also blamed the residents for taking the law in their hands.
Another person called Aston Moyes. Now, BUCD, we have been engaging them. The last time we were here, we even agreed that this case is in court. Let court proceed and pronounce itself on the matter. Meanwhile, both sides should remain peaceful. To come on the ground without first engaging with the security committee of the area.
Some of the residents and the local leaders were not happy about the act and requested government and security agencies to intervene. Albertine police spokesperson Julius Allan Hakiza condemned the incident.
We are in the protest of the arrest that had been made by our security operatives over the charges of malicious damage, aggravated robbery. So their case files are sanctioned, and the community now turned it to the mob turned it to against the security operatives who were executing their lawful duties.
Moving on from that story, the Minister of Internal Affairs, Kahindo Tafire, has urged the youth in Kampala Metropolitan to set aside their political differences and embrace the parish development model. Minister Tafire was inaugurating the Ghetto Youth Leadership in Kampala Metropolitan. He called upon leaders in Kampala to sensitize young people on government wealth creation projects.
In March this year, police and local leaders embarked on engaging the youth in Kampala Metropolitan on detecting and fighting crime.
We noted that for a long time, these ghettos have been blamed for crime, political violence, yet majority of them are innocent.
The initiative intends to have more community vigilantes in slum areas.
Ngera twakiraba nti senga tukolaganira wamu mwe ne gavumenti obumenyi bw'amateeka bugenda kugwa mu Kampala.
The Minister of Internal Affairs, General Kahindo Tafire, expressed government's commitment of creating jobs for unemployed youth.
From now on, you and government must work together to finish this situation.
General Tafile urged Kampala youth to embrace the parish development model.
Program eno gye baleese eya PDM njagala mugikozese n'obwegendereza mulabe nti nammwe program eyo ebajja mu ghetto.
The congregated youth have committed to work with government on the established projects to change their lives through their elected leaders.
Chovola batwenyigidde nnyo mu nteekateeka za gavumenti sobola okulaba nga at least obumenyi bw'amateeka okubba kuba katulaba twagenza okunoonyereza ebitundu 4 ku buli 100 abantu abali mu makomera be bavubuka
kuba tukoyo okubeerawo nga tunywa bunywinja kuva ku makya paka kiro tukoyo okubeerawo nga tonyigira mu bintu ebitatuyamba.
Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
I'm so sorry about that. Now, a group of DP NRM party members have today crossed to the National Unity Platform in a welcome function held at the party headquarters in Makere. Kavule, take a look.
The National Unity Platform has welcomed new members from the NRM, DP and other parties. Among these is Lukwago Ramadan, the Kawempe East Mayor, and Nasolo Iginia, the Rubaga East MP aspirant in the 2021 elections.
Njagala nkozesa obwongo bwange bwe nnina amagezi gange nyongere ku kibiina.
Munakyemalira atunyigiriza kati ffe abanyigirizibwa nze nganza n'abantu bange abali wano bonna ne tusalawo twekatale pulezidenti w'abantu Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu.
Pulezidenti wano ng'ab'emakindye Mr. President Sebo tuzze kwongera okukakasa loyalite tuzze kukakasa tife twasalawo twewayo twavayo mu DP tuzze kukola lwa nkyukakyuka
egatte FDC egatte tuwagire omwana waffe Bobi Wine. Oh yeah!
Loop Party President Robert Kyagulanyi welcomes the new members to the party, however challenges them to be courageous for the shortcomings ahead.
We welcome you, but I want to remind you that this is not an ordinary political party. We are revolutionaries. What we are welcoming you to is not a bed of roses, we are welcoming you to war.
Kyagulanyi implores the party members to work with whoever is ready to help them achieve their mission,
We relate with everybody, even those that don't belong to NUP. And number 3, other political parties, especially opposition political parties, they are not our enemies.
The newly initiated members pledged cooperation with the existing members for the growth and development of the party. This comes at a time when the DP party headed by Norbert Mao signed a cooperation agreement with NRM, the ruling party. Marian Womcha, UBC.
Now, campaigns for Gogonyo County parliamentary by-elections have entered the second day as candidates intensify the search for the votes. The NRM flag bearer Derek Orone has this Thursday combed Gogonyo sub-county one day, one of Israel.
The NRM parliamentary candidate for Gogonyo County by-election, Oron Derek, has today officially kicked off his campaign trail. He has the Thursday kicked off his campaign trail from Gogonyo sub-county in the areas of Ajabet Parish.
And I'm here to convey greetings from His Excellency, the President and National Chairperson of the party, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. He has sent us here to support to Oroni as a member of our party. I want to tell you that the party of NRM and the National Chairperson Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is supporting only one candidate, and that's Dick Oroni.
The State Minister for Mineral Affairs, also woman member of Parliament Chibuko District Jennifer Namuyango, and Director Mobilization NRM Rosemary Nansubuga are among the party diehards in the yellow bus combing for votes in Palisa District.
Abubuwa limokinias kapukana.
President Museveni abataka ino. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni eranga chairman we NRM yayita omuntu avuganya Derek Oroni namugamba debali tokuganya na Derek Oroni kubanga tolina flag.
The team also campaigned in Ajapet Parish, still in Gogonyo sub-county.
it's beyond, because I didn't expect to see what I saw. You know, in Gogonyo, morning times is time for gardens. Most of the people go to the gardens, but they say today we are remaining home. We want to see our son. And they are so happy with what I've done for them within 1 year. That's why I see, even when I start telling them, please forgive me the bad things, the bad side, everybody says, no, don't worry, our son. We know you're disturbed in court. We have had quite big numbers, big turn-up, and actually it's not about the turn-up, but it's about the expression people show when they are receiving our candidate. It's very positive, and of course we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel.
This is St. Jude Primary School here in Gogonyo Sub-County, Palisa District. The NRM parliamentary by-election candidate for Gogonyo County, Derek Oron, says if he is given the mandate of serving this county in the coming remaining 4 years of the 11th Parliament, he will square his energies to transform the education system of this sub-county and district at large.
Nga wano mu St. Jude wano wetutudde wano enti olaba kafaananyi k'essomero twatandikirawo nga subgrade naye tusaba gavumenti etukwatireko.
We lack enough teachers from the school. So even buildings, as per right now, we have very many students from the school. We lack the buildings from the school.
Gogonyo's education is a bit down, but I want to thank Honorable Minister Gwang for having attained the new position. And he promised me that he's going to really help me for these two sub-counties, that's Kaukura sub-county and Obutet sub-county, to get seed schools in this term. The fact that government has already split the big parishes into and has created more parishes, I believe they will get the schools. Let them vote for Ronnie, and I think all will be worked on because he will be in position to lobby government.
As per the harmonized program by the Electoral Commission in this district of Palisa, the NRM camp also searched for votes in the remaining parts of Gogonyo sub-county. Oroni will extend his campaign trail to Obutet sub-county, still in Palisa district, and that is in Gogonyo county. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Palisa district.
Well, congratulations to the winner from the NRM camp. Now, housing and real estate dealers under the umbrella body Association of Real Estate Agents Uganda have cautioned the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development to include housing brokers and other practitioners in the recently passed Landlord and Tenants Act. The request was made at the monthly performance and review meeting in Kampala.
Explain what each of those.
In 2018, the Landlord and Tenant Bill of 2018 was passed by Parliament, with the policy behind the bill to regulate the relationship between the landlord and the tenant, to reform and consolidate the law relating to the letting of premises. However, recently, after numerous discussions, the bill was eventually approved by President Museveni and was enacted into law. Since its inaction, the housing and real estate developers have been inspecting the Landlord and Tenants Act and its impact on the sector. At a monthly meeting submission, real estate developers shared their concerns about the law.
The default in subsection 1 continues for a period of more than 30 days. The landlord shall be entitled to re-enter the premises and take possession in the presence of an area local council.
Gillen Shonyubi, who represented landlords and real estate developers, says the Landlord-Tenant Act will create a common ground between the two stakeholders.
Found that it's quite balanced. The general consensus, in my opinion, is that it's quite balanced. Landlords are happy, tenants are happy. There will always be a few issues that people won't agree to.
The President Association of Real Estate Agents Uganda, Shali Konga, expressed the ideal significance of the monthly meeting to the members. However, demanded for the inclusion of real estate practitioners in the sector.
The meeting was basically to educate our members on the provisions of the Act and for them to understand and see how to advise their clients and how to implement the law. But what the problem is, it has left out the agents, the brokers, because they are the ones who actually connect the landlord to the tenants, or the tenants to the landlord. So they are part of the game.
Dramani Santino, the Assistant Commissioner of Human Settlement in charge of planning in the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, assured the practitioners that regulation of the Real Estate Agency Bill is being scrutinized.
And we are here to fast track on the implementation of the Landlord-Tenant Act, which has just been ascended to by His Excellency the President. The Real Estate Agents Bill, which was sponsored by a private member of Parliament, had been put off and is overtaken by events. The bill then had issues, and issues which really have to be addressed. And the ministry is on a new process of developing the Real Estate Agents Bill. And that's why the information given by a member that the bill has gone through the first reading is incorrect, and as it has been overtaken by events.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC News.
Yes, the law says.
The Ministry of Health has launched Self-Regulatory Quality Improvement System SQIs as a digital platform designed through a collaborative effort between the medical regulatory authorities and private sector, represented by the Uganda Healthcare Federation, with financial resources provided by the Mastercard Foundation and USAID.
In the move to regulate and improve on the quality healthcare in privately owned health facilities, Ministry of Health and its regulatory bodies have launched a new digital platform that will strengthen its supervision. The platform is aimed at modernizing supervision of the private health sector, shifting away from the archaic system of going door to door and looking for what is wrong with the health facilities. Director General Health Services at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Henry Mwebesa, noted that the tool will later be mandatory for all privately owned health facilities, including drug shops, pharmacies, dental units, radiology and laboratories in the country.
But we want to introduce it slowly. We don't want to jump into things and then tomorrow you start refusing to register people because they have not filled this. So we shall start slowly. We get them to appreciate it. We get them to know, and then eventually it will be a requirement in order for your hospital, in order for your clinic, in order for your lab or pharmacy to be registered. We are not doing a tool where when we find gaps we run to close them. Of course we are doing it together with the councils, so we don't run to close them, but we are emphasizing to the councils that you go and support the private facilities to improve the gaps so that they can provide better quality services to our people.
Over 400 mobile tablets were handed over to different health facilities, especially the hard-to-reach areas, to facilitate easy data and information collection. The Ministry of Health, together with the local governments across the country, will have access to the data in the platform through several dashboards that will indicate performance from facility level, district level and national level that will influence the formulation of continuous medical education seminars.
We already have a system where we produce licenses for doctors or for health workers who have completed 40-80 hours. It is now automatic. You don't need to come to council to get that. So we are insisting, and we want to make sure that people get their licenses before December 31st as per the law. But going ahead with this system, we also want it to be online, because we have agreed with the private sector. It is a self-regulatory tool. You are going to score yourself. If you get 80%, you will get a license. However, our inspectors will be coming to check if really your 80% is really 80%.
Grace Kiwanukasali, the Executive Director of Uganda Healthcare Federation, emphasized that the new approach recognizes private health
internally to be able to speak to those gaps, support the private healthcare facilities to be able to comprehensively address the issue, and therefore we sought funding from Mastercard Foundation. So this program is one of the components under this funding with Mastercard Foundation, which is about $8 million, and this is one of the components. And it was to help see how the private healthcare facilities, which is where most of the people go at a local level, how can they be able to self-assess and then meet the minimum standard that Ministry of Health needs.
Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Mulago National Referral Hospital has entered into a memorandum of understanding with MU-JHU Research Collaboration to conduct a number of health-related research projects Now, according to Mulago Hospital, the research will improve evidence-based medicine and better health service delivery in the country.
Mojo Research Collaboration is a leading health research institution started in 1988. The institution has now entered into a memorandum of understanding with Mulago Hospital to conduct a number of health research projects.
In this MOU, it's opened us up to do whatever we think is relevant. And we've been mainly doing HIV, but we want to move to non-HIV as well. Maternal health, maternal mortality, which is maternal deaths in pregnant women. How can we help them? How do we help children? Nutrition, survival, how to improve their outcomes. What about non-communicable diseases? We want to also move into that area.
One of the commendable research projects conducted by Mojo was about the prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV, whose results tremendously reduced the number of babies born with HIV.
The first one I shared was the single-dose nevirapine to prevent mother-to-child transmission of HIV. Results were 1999, and that was implemented all over the world in poor countries and reduced transmission of HIV in children. But subsequently, we did other studies where we used 3 drugs to prevent mother-to-child transmission of HIV, and those results were 2016, and WHO now recommended that all pregnant women should get 3 drugs, like you're treating them for HIV, even if they were not sick. And we've moved on now. Everybody gets triple therapy.
Mojo will also conduct research on vaccines, including those of COVID-19.
We're trying to answer whether if you give a certain vaccine, you get good antibody response, the proteins that show that you're being protected, and then we're saying how long does that protection last, using different types of vaccines.
According to Mulago Hospital, this collaboration will help to improve the provision of health care through evidence-based medicine.
Mojo is helping us also achieve our mandate of research. And of course, through research, there is a component of patient care.
According to Mulago Hospital, Mojo will work closely with the hospital's ethics committee to ensure that the rights of the participants are protected. Adia Nakuti, Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Breastfeeding mothers have been encouraged to find avenues for exclusive breastfeeding to avoid distorted growth of children. The district nutrition focal person for Isinjiro Kazungu, Clementia, encourages the idea of having breastfeeding centers for working mothers to ensure proper growth of their children. Now, this was during celebrations to mark World Breastfeeding Week at Nachivale Refugee Settlement, where Deputy Camp Commandant Gonza Justin challenged refugee men to support their wives.
This March past attracted all stakeholders in breastfeeding, ranging from women, children and men. It was an awareness creation moment for exclusive breastfeeding amongst refugee mothers. The main message of the day was having uninterrupted breastfeeding for not less than 6 months.
The baby should be breastfed beginning from the first hour of birth. Do what we call exclusive breastfeeding, giving the breast milk up to 6 months, because when she mixes, the baby may get some problems or some challenges of diarrhea, those issues.
This message was both for the ordinary and working mothers.
Leave it in a clean container, and when the baby is hungry, the people who are taking care of the baby, they warm the breast milk, then give to the baby.
Because we have money, we feel that we are supposed to use our money to buy milk from the supermarket or from anywhere. That's why our children are misbehaving, because they don't have that unit between us and them.
Action against hunger was part of the celebrations, with a call on men to support their breastfeeding wives.
UN's World Food Program, to mention but a few, are celebrating this event right here in Rubondo to promote a breastfeeding practice among mothers.
Men are competing with babies to breastfeed, which is extremely wrong. Breast milk is for children, not for what? Not for men. It's purely for children. So men should play their role and leave the breast for the babies, not taking the breast for what? For them.
The World Breastfeeding Week at Nachivale Refugee Settlement in Isingiro District was held under the theme, Step Up for Breastfeeding, Educate and Support. Henry Okurut, UBC.
We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more stories.
The 28th edition of the Uganda Manufacturers Association's International Trade Fair will be different as Uganda marks the 60th anniversary, the Diamond Jubilee. The trade fair comes after a 2-year break brought about by the global COVID-19 pandemic. In the last 2 years, there have been several innovations across the industry. This is an opportunity to showcase what the market has. Come display, come explore, come see, come experience. Come learn and be part of the Diamond Jubilee Trade Fair at Uganda Manufacturers Association Showgrounds from 3rd to 10th October. Contact our marketing department and experience the Diamond Jubilee Trade Fair. Let's harness economic recovery through local sourcing and deepening value chain integration during the Diamond Jubilee exhibition.
The Corporate Games Season 2022-2023 is here. Don't miss lots of fun and networking. 12 sports disciplines and over 2,000 participants with over 40 corporate companies in one place. This happens every first Sunday of every month. For more information, contact info@corporategamesug.com or visit our website www.corporategamesug.com, or you can call us on 0700 339 048 or 0785 642 953. Don't miss on Sunday, 7th August of 2022 at Chambogo University. The Corporate Games, inspiring corporates through sports.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
It's 3 minutes past 11, and in our business stories, a digital system has been launched in PG District to boost financial inclusion to remote communities in PG and Mityana District. More Gemgo digital systems launched with support from Korean Federation of Community Credit Cooperatives, KFCC, and enables cost savings and community-tailored digital financial services. Now, the system will enable more Gemgo members to access loans, save, deposit, and buy shares, among others, via mobile phones.
With financial support from South Korean government through Korean Federation of Community Credit Cooperatives, KFCC, has launched a digital finance system aimed at promoting financial inclusion among the rural communities in the district of Mityana and Mpigi. Launching the Mall GameGo digital financial system at Kanani village in PG district, the system will diminish the challenges of hustling for access to financial services to remote communities. The deputy head of Korean Embassy Kampala, Ah Yang Kim, officiated at the launch event.
We will provide more convenient and trustworthy and safe services to the members. With this new system, I'm sure that the Ugandan people will have better financial accessibility and Semi-Congo will gain more trust as a local financial system.
Diplomats from Korean Federation of Community Credit Corporation and the implementing Simol GameGo project Uganda says digital transformation will spur economic empowerment.
Uganda, you are all witnessing such a positive change. The financial service is in new digital transformation.
We are providing capacity building programs and customized consulting aimed at alleviating poverty, developing community by improving the financial accessibility of villagers in the rural areas of Uganda.
We bring in digital finance. We are reducing that cost by automating systems and reducing on the cost that our financial institutions have to incur in order to serve their members.
Government officials at ministerial and district levels applaud the Korean government for the support towards rural transformation.
It will help our people not move with money.
And is also requesting for a rollout to other areas where this model has not reached.
They will be saving from their homes. If they want to withdraw, they will be withdrawing the money from their homes.
This will help in proper documentation and financial management of members saving in our MPs.
Mall GameGo beneficiaries say the digital system is cost-effective and risk-free.
Actually, I've seen a lot of advantage in this, in that when you deposit your money, the app just allocates the money where it's supposed to go. When you withdraw, it withdraws from members' account, and then it allocates the money being withdrawn to where it's supposed to go. And then when you want to generate the report, you just command and the reports are generated automatically.
Through mindset trainings, Simel GameGo project has established 18 mall GameGos with over 10,000 beneficiaries at parish and village level in Mitiana and Mpigi.
Uganda stars continue to shine at the Commonwealth Games with Husna Kobgambe progressing to the round of 16. Kobgambe edged Kenyan Gumtasmaya in 2 straight sets. Now Kobgambe will also be in the round of 16 and play India's championship #1 seed, PV Sidhu, a player she has always dreamed all her life just to meet and hobnob. Kobgambe's coach William Kabindi says that the player is in the right shape and will approach that game like she and others and other team members push the Ugandan cause much higher.
I've been in the round of 32. I played against Kenya and won 2 straight. I'm happy about that. So I'm into the round of 16, going to play seed 1 of the tournament from India. I've always wanted to play her, to take pics with her, so I've gotten a better chance of playing her on court.
What should Ugandans expect with the round?
They should expect good performance from me. I'm going to put up a fight.
So we are expecting more wins at least. Today we've lost ladies mixed double. We lost 1 single. So we took 1 win today. We yet to see Kasey Bryan play, Wanagalia and Husna play in the mixed, and also in the men's double. So I'm hopeful that we'll have more wins at least.
My staying in Birmingham is so far good because we had a lot of disturbance, like in terms of making weight, because when you compare this weather to the Ugandan one, they are not the same, but we managed to make our weight. And I'm in fight tonight with Stefan Zimba of Zambia, and he has a lot of experience compared to mine because he has gone into many international championships like the Olympics, the Commonwealth, and he has a silver in them. But if you compare my style to his, I can manage him because we have seen a lot. We have seen so many seniors being beaten by the amateurs, by the upcoming kids.
My name is Mbale from Uganda, a para powerlifter who came to represent Uganda, and I'm very ready to give the best to my country. And I'm in the category of 88 body weight, and I'm sure I'm going to do the best for my country.
Well, thank you so much for watching UBC News Tonight with me, Sharon Kyomugisha. We leave you with a weather forecast with Daphne Kabasita. Have a good night.
It's a pleasure having you for this weather update. I'm Daphne Kabasita Samba from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Most parts of the country today we had sunny conditions, though some areas had cloudy conditions with rains, especially areas around Lake Victoria, western Uganda, some few areas in eastern part of the country. And this is because of the winds that are coming in from the Indian Ocean towards our country. They are contributing to the rains that we're having, especially in the eastern part of the country. Together with the local effect, areas around Lake Victoria, that's where we're having more showers. We are expecting tomorrow central part of the country in the morning hours to have sunny intervals in some few areas, for example, north central. Some few areas, for example, Kampala and also Masaka, we are expecting showers. In the eastern Uganda, we are expecting showers in Soroti, Jinja, but then in Soroti, we are expecting sunny intervals. And then in the northern part of the country, central north, we are expecting sunny intervals, but then in the northeast and northwest, we are expecting showers. In the western part of the country, we are expecting sunny intervals, apart from Masindi, where we are expecting showers. Temperatures tomorrow are expected to rise to 28 degrees Celsius in the central part of the country. Though some few areas will have showers, for example, Kampala with 26 degrees Celsius and also Masaka with 28 degrees Celsius. Eastern Uganda, we are expecting showers still, with temperatures rising to 28, that is Soroti. Other areas, we're expecting temperatures to rise to 27. Northern Uganda, central north, we're expecting still sunny conditions with temperatures rising to 29, eastern 28, and then in Arua, we're expecting temperatures to rise to 27 degrees with showers. Western Uganda, we're expecting sunny intervals with temperatures rising to 32, that is in Kasese with showers. Going beyond Uganda, we're expecting Kata to have hot conditions with temperatures rising to 43 degrees Celsius. Beijing, we're also expecting it to have sunny conditions with temperatures rising to 36. It's a bit hot. In New York, we're expecting showers with temperatures rising to 32 degrees Celsius. That's what we had in our store. Continue tuning into UBC. Have a blessed evening.